Hey guys and dolls! So this video today is going to be all about hair care, hairstyles, all that kind of stuff. Recently I was feeling like a bit of a change. I got so bored with my hair and a lot of you were kind of telling me, you know, different things you thought I should do with my hair. I wasn't brave enough to dye it. I really wanted like lavender ends, but I wasn't brave enough to do that. I wasn't brave enough to get like, you know, the kind of hairstyle that's really in right now, the real short little bob. I wasn't brave enough for that either. What I did decide to do was cut off all the kind of raggedy layers. Well, I didn't do it myself. I got a hairdresser to do it. Yes, I'm going to show you a handful of hairstyles that I really like to reach for, especially now that it's summer. And be warned, I did not wake up like this. I woke up like this. My hair is naturally very coarse and frizzy and curly. It only actually goes like this if I wash my hair and then I blow dry it and brush it before going to bed. If I just wash it, and these are two shampoo and conditioner that I'm trying out right now on recommendation from you guys. They're by, I think it's not NYX, it's probably Organics or something. If I just use these and leave it, let it air dry, it'll dry really nice and curly, like natural curls, but it doesn't look styled in any way and it's really super knotty, so it's hard to do actual hairstyles with knotty hair. To get myself to the starting point, I like to get my hair like this, which is kind of semi-straightened. What I'll always do without fail after washing my hair to nourish it and make it feel soft and sleek is apply a hair oil. I like the Dove Pure Care Dry Oil one. That's just what I'm using right now. Since well before Christmas, I've been hooked on these Numi hair tools. They don't damage the hair. It's something in the coating on the wands. They're like really high quality and they don't like frizzle your hair, which is great. Is frizzle even a word? I hope it is. And before using any heat on my hair, so we're talking hair dryers, hair straighteners, hair curlers, I will use heat defense products. So I like this mousse. You can get mousses, you can get sprays like this one that has oil in it. So how I like to iron out all the kinks in my hair is I'll take a little hair tie. I usually buy bunches of these in Primark for like really cheap and just have them lying around because they always go missing. I feel like there's like a little man who lives in the wardrobe and comes steals bobbins at night time. But I'll tie up the top half of my hair and then I'll work from the bottom right up to the top, just ironing out the kinks, and I'll keep going over it. So usually when I'm done, I have to go back over this underneath part and then take like the lengths at the top, because usually you know you get that line where it's so obvious you've been using the straighteners. Little story actually, when I was a teenager, which is way back in the day, I used to use an actual iron to straighten my hair. That's what we all used to do before school. I'll take a little bit of hairspray. So Elnet Satin Finish is my favorite. This one has precious oil in it, whatever that means, and I'll just spritz some onto my hand usually so that I'm not like putting too much on. Get some onto my little finger, wipe back all the little baby hairs, and then we're good to start. My absolute go-to hairstyle is definitely waves and kind of a textured look to my hair. If I don't want my hair to look curled, I just want it to look real textury and beachy, I will use a wand like this. But what I want to kind of show you guys today is the straightener curls. That's what most of you have asked me to show in a video. It just takes a bit of practice to do, and you just have to get a knack of what way to twist your hand while you're doing it. But the result is brilliant and it lasts for so long, and then you can like doll it up with some kind of like headbands and stuff. I love flower crowns for summertime. They're so cute. And then this is like a headband with rose gold flowers, and I just think these are beautiful. They're really cheap from Primark. So what my method normally is with waving or curling my hair using a straighteners is to do it away from the face. So if you can just see the position I have this in here, I'll wrap my hair around it kind of halfway down along the length of my hair, and then I'll pull it down, and this creates a wave, the heat along the shaft. I am so bad at explaining this. And the voiceover award goes to... Don't be afraid to go over it if you need to at any point. I just do this throughout all of my hair, and I promise you it just takes practice. The first few times I tried it, it just fell flat, but I'm getting better at it slowly but surely. And then I'll usually go in with a little bit more of that hair oil I mentioned after I've styled it, because it kind of smooths down the little fluffy flyaways, and you know that frizzy 80s effect you kind of get? this gets rid of that. Then I'll pop on a flower crown or any other little hair accessories that I'm going to apply, and it just looks so polished, and it was quite effortless. I think this kind of hairstyle is really pretty for the likes of festivals and picnics and that kind of thing. And if you're watching this in like winter, you can totally jazz this up with a different kind of like headband or whatever. But so right, we'll take this little guy out, give it a little shake up. So now we'll have a little play with scrunchies, and these little guys are so back in now. I remember an episode of Sex and the City where Carrie was making a whole joke out of this girl wearing a scrunchie because it's so old fashioned, but they're actually back in now, and I'm so glad because I've always liked these. I always wore them anyway. This one is also from Primark. It's kind of rose goldy shade, which matches my cuff around my neck, so I think I'm going to go with this. But what I usually do with scrunchies, because they're not very strong most of the time, I'll tie my hair up and then I'll put the scrunchie on over it, so it's kind of like for decoration. And I know most people's go-to is like the bun on the top of the head, but recently I've been going more for a side ponytail. I always make sure I'm stacked up on these little clips or bobby pins, whatever you want to call them. I usually use these to like scratch the insides of my ears. I'm not telling you to do that. I think it's probably the worst idea ever. One day I'm gonna burst my eardrum. Why am I talking about this? Back to the hair. So when I'm tying up my hair, I obviously am gonna wanna get rid of all the bumps in the hair. They really drive me mad. I don't have OCD, but I feel very OCD about little things like that when there's like a little bump sticking up. So I brush it from the bottom and then all the top, the sides, and I'll figure out which side of my face the ponytail looks nicer on. I have a side of my face that I do prefer, so I tend to like leave it on that side. Then I'll secure it and make sure that it's really tight. Before putting in the scrunchie, I'll clip up any bits that might be falling out or anything like that. I'll let my fringe hang out, and then I'll take little pieces of hair down from above my ears because it looks way cooler. So yeah, this is like a nice casual style to put in, and I don't see enough people rocking the high side ponytail anymore. So yeah, I think I'll pop this out now and I'll show you guys how I do my side fishtail braid, which is another style that I go for so often. I feel like a fishtail braid is never gonna go out of style. It's great for like school and things like that, but also if you want to look really pretty on a date, out for a meal with your family. Stop touching the hair, Mel. We're getting into Hagrid territory again. I'll always start a side fishtail braid off with my hair brushed out and to one side, and I will secure it in place with a bobbin temporarily. We'll be taking this out, and then I'm going to split it all into two pieces. The way you do a fishtail braid is, now I'm going to have a close-up. You take one piece from the right hand side and drag it over into the piece on the left hand side. Then you take a piece from the left hand side and you bring that right over into the piece that you have on the right hand side, and you keep alternating that. So it's very different from a regular plait or a regular braid. It's a totally different type of braid. So you can see here I'm taking one piece and then I'm lifting it up and bringing it over, then taking another piece and I'm lifting it up and bringing it over. And if you watch this close-up part several times while trying to do it yourself, you'll know how to do it, and then you'll be like me where you're like, yay, I can finally do an actual hairstyle. I was so proud of myself when I learned how to do this because it looks really fancy and doesn't take that much time at all. So what I do then is pull it all out to make it look a bit messier and fuller and remove the bobbin at the top. And you can finish this off by sticking in any kind of hair accessory on top if you want. So I'm putting in that hairband here and I'm tugging out all the top part because it looks way more boho and way more kind of fancy. Yeah, what was that face? This is my shine spray, which is really great. It makes your hair look so nice. And look at me go, I'm a fish. So that concludes those little summer inspired hairstyles. And if you want to be super boring, right, and do the whole bun on top of the head thing, which we all do every week, there's going to be some point where we must embrace the bun. I turn my head upside down So hold up for a second and brush out these parts first because they always get bumpy and fluffy. So I'll gather my hair all up at the top of my head like that, and then what I'm going to do is just start twisting this around. So you twist it that way, and then you have something to actually keep twisting around in the first place. So I wrap it all the way around, and this is what I like to call pineapple head, you know? Pineapple head isn't necessarily a bad thing, girls. Well, it is when your bobbin breaks. Oh my god, I have so much hair. Okay, second time lucky. Second time lucky. Second time's a charm. Yep, there she is. There she is. Messy bun. So I just kind of pull at it and like pull this part out and till I look a bit disheveled and lazy. So what I hope this video inspired you to do is not live out your days like this every day, but to play around with your look and your hair. Grooming the hair is fun. It doesn't have to be like a chore. Because the finished result is always like, oh, I look different today. Slam dunk the funk, get it up, get it moving. I feel like that's a sign for me to leave. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, cause that helps me out. And leave me a comment with your favorite of the hairstyles and what kind of hair related videos would you like me to do next. Yeah, Melanie, because you're the one who needs to be given advice here.